and can pummel you with my globe Earth understanding that there is in fact 15 degrees an hour turn of the Earth underneath the stars. I observed that. I didn't need any sort of authority to tell me, and I agree with it based on my assumption.
You're scary, Nathan, when you're defending the ball. You're really
Agreed.
Chant through me, fundy flat earther.
You did say assume. Now prove your assumption.
This is getting scary.
Yeah, prove the assumption. I can observe the 15 degrees an hour drift with my own eyes. It's the 6th time. Morning. Big shout out to Matthias for warming up the panel appropriately before the live show started. Thank you very much indeed. Any evidence of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
All you got to do is go outside and experience life for yourself, and you can discover that there is no movement of Earth. You'll feel wind, and you'll see the stars rotate from east to west in the sky, but you won't feel any rotation.
But they claim that movement of the stars is as a cause of rotational Earth, though, don't they? That's their claim.
They can claim bullshit all they want, but it's what you experience is what matters.
Well, you experience them moving.
Containment.
You do experience them moving. You're forcing me to play a glober. Don't get triggered by me. I'm not a glober. But I'm going to assert that that is their proof of a turning Earth, that the stars move as a result, causally linked to the globe turning beneath those stars. It's called Coriolis drift. That's what they're claiming you're seeing in the stars. So you're saying, would you go outside and experience the Earth turning under the stars? Because that's what they say. How would you debunk it?
I would tell them that they're appealing to academia and not common sense.
Common sense says that the stars are stationary and we're moving to cause a Coriolis deflection at 15 degrees an hour. That's the globe's claim.
Yeah, just a claim.
Morning, guys.
Yeah,
Made
so
from academia.
And how would you overcome it other than saying appeal to authority? I'm not appealing to authority. I'm appealing to my own bloody eyes.
Prove it.
Hello? You said I go outside and look with my eyes. Now, as a glober, I'm saying I've done that. Not appealing to any authority. I saw the stars move with my own bloody eyes. I'd like to know how you overcome that. It's not an appeal to authority. I've overcome your attempted rebuttal. Let's see how well you get on, Flat Earther.
I would ask them what they experienced.
I experienced the stars moving for the 3rd time as a result of Earth turning underneath, according to the globe Earth claim that you seem to want to chant through when I point out that I've done what you've asked. Gone out with my own bloody eyes and made the assumption that Earth is turning beneath these stars to cause their deflection at 15 degrees an hour. That's about the 4th time. You haven't overcome my globe Earth argument, though, have you?
I heard you.
So overcome it, then.
Just because you chant fucking from academia doesn't mean that you're correct,
It's not academia. I went outside and did as you asked. 2nd time.
You went outside and...
Yes, like you asked. And I observed the stars drifting at 15 degrees an hour, exactly as I can detail with my own eyes and not academia. So, how are you going to overcome this flat Earth genius?
Yes, that is academia.
It is not academia, it is the observation of my own eyes for the 3rd time. You are just crap at overcoming this globe argument, it seems. Hello? I've observed 15 degrees an hour of drift in the stars.
Academia.
Just going to chant academia, it's not academic. Do you not understand that me looking at it and measuring a 15 degrees an hour drift as I assume Earth turns beneath them, that's not academia?
So assuming Earth turns beneath them.
Yes, that's right. To produce 15 degrees an hour drift I observed with my eyes, yes.
So they're begging the question.
That's correct. That's a nice start. No, I'm not begging the question. There is 15 degrees an hour.
Assume.
Do you want to hear the rebuttal from a glober or not? Chant through me, fundy flat earther.
You did say assume. Now prove your assumption.
This is getting scary.
Yeah, prove the assumption. I can observe the 15 degrees an hour drift with my own eyes. It's the 6th time. Not doing too well.
Something and this just declare.
That's correct. That's exactly what I am doing.
Says it is.
Yes, that's precisely what I'm doing, and I'm saying that's acceptable. What you going to do now?
That's not acceptable.
Why not?
You may think that just because they think that that's acceptable doesn't mean that it's acceptable in reality.
I said it's acceptable. I have accepted it.
Okay, that's good for you. That's your own willful ignorance.
No,
You know?
the rest of the Western world agrees with me. I'll appeal to the
I
consensus.
don't give a fuck. Oh, so appeal to consensus.
Yeah, but I also agree with it based on my own observations that I have made and told you about when I assume Earth turns beneath the stars. I have accepted that. You, on the other hand, disagree with no reason other than telling me it's an appeal to some authority I haven't appealed to. You haven't given me any rebuttal.
I have. You just keep bumping your gums.
Good
My
rebuttal.
direct experience tells me that the Earth is not moving and that the stars are indeed moving east to west.
Yeah, as a result of Earth turning beneath them by way of my assumption that I accept, and the rest of the Western world does. We covered this. You just haven't debunked it.
Assumptions in my experience.
Yes,
That's my
I
own
am
direct
assuming that.
experience.
That's correct. Science has assumptions in it.
Science has assumption in it.
That's
Nathan
correct.
Oakley, 2022.
Yes, yes, that's correct. Do you understand science and the assumptions it would have? That would be an independent variable, assumed cause and effect. That's an assumption. I'm assuming the Earth turns. You aren't debunking what I'm saying. You're doing poorly against me, the most formidable globe Earth opponent you will ever face. Forget about your anti-flat earthers. I will make them look pathetic. Because I actually understand their arguments. Half of them don't. I do, and can pummel you with my globe Earth understanding that there is in fact 15 degrees an hour turn of the Earth underneath the stars. I observed that. I didn't need any sort of authority to tell me, and I agree with it based on my assumption. What are you going to do? That's science, son. Got anything to come back at me with?
You're telling me that if you didn't know any academia or nothing whatsoever, you would go outside, look at the stars, see that they're moving, and directly assume that the Earth is rotating? That's what you're fucking telling me?
For the third time, yes, yes, and yes.
Wow.
So you're going to, in any way, refute that claim? Based on my assumption that Earth turns beneath the stars to cause Coriolis deflection at 15 degrees an hour. Yes, I have assumed it. Yes, I accept it, as does the rest of the Western world. What have you got to challenge it with?
So you assuming is begging the question. We've already went through this.
What does that mean?
Then I would ask.
What does that mean?
I would ask this
I don't know what that
ballard
means. What does that mean?
that just chanted fucking pseudoscience academia to actually prove his little assumption.
Not pseudoscience. I said it was science because it has an assumption in it, like science does. Sorry, I said it had scientific validity because of the assumption, which science definitely has. And I exampled it. I even labelled it. Independent variable, assumed cause of an effect. That's what I labelled it.
Okay, what's the IB? What's the IB in this science that you
just told you? Are you deaf? IV Earth turn. I just told you that. The fourth time I've told you. That's my assumed cause. That is science.
How are you going to manipulate Earth turn? How are you going to manipulate the Earth turning?
I can't do that.
Okay, so therefore your little science, which I called pseudoscience a while ago, is bullshit, and your assumption is incorrect. Now, then I tell the little fucktard to go outside and
why is it incorrect?
Tell me what he experiences.
Why? Why is it incorrect? You haven't told me why it's incorrect. It is correct science, and I've told you why. The assumed cause, independent variable. Do you mind? Are you scared of this globe proof? You scared of my globe proof?
Well, the IB.
You scared?
Well,
he has
the IB. The researcher must manipulate and vary the independent variable, and which you addressed is Earth turn, and which you also addressed said you could not do that. So therefore, it is pseudoscience, not science.
Correct. Kudos. Got there in the end.
Well, you're not even very manipulating anything to prove anything. It's just...
That's what he just said. Don't steal his argument. That's correct.
I have paid attention to quite a few of your shows, Nathan.
No. That's good. You did fantastically. You got me to the point where I had to concede I can't vary and manipulate that which I'm assuming causes the effect. Correct. Kudos.
I need some recovery period after all that.
Do you, Al? You've been here long enough.
You're scary, Nathan, when you're defending the ball. You're really...
Agreed.
That was actually funny.
I'm like,
what's going on here?
I'm glad Nathan's a flat earther.
Well, for all those people out there in the pre-show that I was told that are being led to believe that actually Nathan thinks he's on a globe, he's just doing this for money. Yeah, it would be so easy to become an idiot glober. Your arguments are really easy to chant at people. But ultimately, you're defeated by that guy just by asking whether or not I varied the thing I assumed caused it when I said it was science, which it isn't. But he managed to overcome it just by understanding the scientific method, which he did. Excellent.